What is up, everybody? And we're back with another action video of the Ultra Vegito Saga. So, let me just skip some things, and of course.
Back when I started Albion Online, I was kinda worried about how to play.
There.
So our story continues with Ultra Vegito in his new mysterious form, staring straight into the eyes of a nothing short of petrified Beerus.
Yep.
But unyieldingly, with a maniacal smile,
That boy
Vegito lets
really
out,
stuttering.
"What's wrong, Beerus? I thought you said you were going to make me break more than just a sweat.
Yep.
Where's all that bravado now, Destroyer?
Nothing.
Silent in the face of the man who just defeated your beloved students.
Yep.
Pathetic."
Indeed.
While Beerus, who is still just reeling from Vegito somehow surviving half his face being erased, just mutters, There's no way!
Oh, there is.
Cannot be mortal!
Oh, he is actually.
Before
In a way,
eventually,
I
from the
guess.
sheer fear running through his body, Beerus falls on his backside, his eyes not leaving Vegito's as he continues. "Just tell me, what are you? You are no Saiyan, that's for certain.
He is.
How could anyone, let alone a mortal, reverse their own erasure? Never in all my years have I witnessed anything like that. At least, not since Lucif." Strangely mentioning a character we'd never heard before
Yeah.
up until this point in the
But
Dragon
damn,
Ball
he looks
universe,
menacing.
as within the mind of Beerus, a memory of a truly demonic figure begins to arise. Now sweating
when I
from just
think-
a
is that
simple
Lucifer?
comparison and thought
Huh.
about this
So is this
Lucif
in
character,
Disneyland? Huh.
Beerus adds, "No.
Interesting.
No, I should never mention that name again. Whatever you did, it has to be something completely different." But Vegito, hearing the sudden mention of this random figure, who seemingly is striking fear into even Beerus, immediately piques his interest, as his Goku side comes out and he inquires, "Lucif? Now who the hell is that, Beerus? Another one of you pathetic gods I need to run through? Or
I
is
don't
it an
think so.
angel? Either way, judging from the way you're reacting, you must be strong. I can't wait to make his energy mine." Before instantly, without any forewarning, Ultra Vegito launches his right hand towards Beerus. And just like
Right
that,
on the neck
wraps his
even.
fingers around the throat of the former destroyer with an ironclad grip that could never be broken. As Beerus is then manhandled and lifted effortlessly into the air by his neck, still squirming, but just remaining markedly silent, as Vegito
That boy
stares,
too
almost
stunned.
waiting for some hint of retaliation, just like he did with Gogito. But eventually, Beerus remains docile and unmoving. Vegito too eventually realizes this and the uncharacteristic submissive behavior and questions, "Not even going to try and fight back, Beerus? Really? That's not like you. Or at least the Beerus I knew from my timeline. Seems this version of you is all talk and no action. What a
like it.
disappointment. Maybe it's time you return to nothingness from which you started. No use in you using any more of this universe's oxygen. Every dog has its day, I guess, and your turn to be put down has come now, hasn't it?" But with just the slightest pushback, Beerus finally shows just a semblance of anger, before then letting out, "Say what you want, God Killer, but I've lived long enough to know when I've been beat. I'm not a battle-thirsty Saiyan like Goku or Vegeta,
Yeah,
and I
true.
refuse to embarrass myself against a foe far stronger than I. Just take my energy and kill as you planned. But before you do, just tell me one thing. Tell me how you were able to reverse your own erasure.
Yeah, I actually want to
The
know that as well.
Destroyer's Hakai.
I have a theory, but I don't think it's true.
Beerus-sama! But before anything could be said in response by Vegito, from a distance, Whis himself reacts in terror to seeing Beerus imminently about to be destroyed. Let go of him, demon! You may have slain my brothers and sisters, but I will not allow the same fate for this universe! Ah! Instantly then beginning his own attack on the unsuspecting fused
You
Saiyan.
just don't understand the piece.
Whis! A look of anger doesn't come across Vegito's face, however, remembering internally the soft spot he has for Whis out of all the gods, the
Yeah.
only one who eventually saved him. Letting out, old friend, I know this version of you may be confused now, but trust me, this is for the best.
In some
I
way,
suggest you cool down for a little while. Before then mysteriously waving the fingers of his left hand upwards. Huh? No, it can't be! Lord Belmont! As shocking,
Oh, he's-
despite
those
being kicked
apparitions are
straight
still
in
alive,
half
huh?
earlier by
Interesting.
Beerus, the ghostly apparition of Belmont still remains.
Yeah, I actually
grabbing
thought
onto
it
Whis'
actually
foot
disappeared, but
as if
it's
now
not.
immortal by Vegito's energy alone. Whis, looking down from the corner of his eye at what was once one of the 12 divine destroyers of the multiverse, is momentarily held still, thinking in uncomfort, if I let this go on any longer, is this ungodly husk what Lord Beerus will become too? What? But regardless of whether this would become Beerus' destined fate or not, right before the angel, two more of Vegito's summonings teleport to block his path. These two being two more of the God Killer's victims, Ketela and Whis' sister, Margarita. The added sight of now even his sister in particular brings about a blue hue on even the blue-faced Whis, as he, just like Beerus, begins to be reminded of a certain figure, thinking inside, this power, these abilities, this is complete blasphemy that should not exist. Beerus-sama has never been more right. This kind of evil and unholiness has only ever been seen once before, only by him. As
Damn,
we too
what
see
was that
within the
devilish
angel's
smirk?
mind, yet another
Jeez, I'm just
demonic
getting
representation
shivers by looking
of a
at it. What the
maniacally
hell?
smiling figure. And ironically, as the scene moves back to Vegito, he too is now smirking demonically at Whis and says, "Huh, chill out, will you, Whis? For someone named after whiskey, you aren't very laid back, are you? Relax.
Bruh.
Beerus is already in my hands, and you know all too well that the moment I close my grasp and break his neck, you'll lose all your powers anyway. Don't you, Whis?" Huh? How? But of course, once Whis hears this come out of the God Killer's mouth, he can only wonder in fear, how could a mortal know that? Information available only to the gods. Or is that just something he figured out after slaughtering the destroyers? Vegito, now done with his interaction with the petrified
Yes,
still
if I
Whis though,
remember, I
then
guess
turns his attention back to
yes.
Beerus, saying,
Yeah.
"Sorry about that. You gods never seem to have any manners, do you?
Yeah.
But
true.
back to your question. I guess I can show you some mercy and grant you your final request." To which a now almost biting his tongue in annoyance Beerus responds, "How gracious of you, God Killer." And with that, Vegeta then begins to explain, saying, "As you may or may not know already, just like non-destroyers can also wield a Hakai, it's possible for any destroyer, or even mortal for that matter, to push back a Hakai if it's weak enough, or if their own power far exceeds the user. But that is only as the Hakai is happening, before it has erased anything. I still remember one time that Punk Frieza hit me with one. I think it was given to him by Sidra, but I survived regardless, and unscathed, just through sheer power alone. That was my first experience with understanding the abilities of destruction. But once a body begins to erase, you'd be right. There is no coming back. Not unless a time ring is used.
Yeah.
When Rumchi erased me not too long ago, I let him destroy almost my entire body, just so I could test the abilities of the time rings. And it worked like a charm, but not without a little sacrifice. I figured out that every time I did this, the time ring I would use would become far weaker, more brittle on my finger. And so when I used it against you, it eventually erased in return for saving me. Seems each time ring only allows me 2 uses when it comes to escaping death, whatever it may be. And now, I only have 4 rings and 8 lives left. I planned on saving all 5 for the Grand Priest and Zeno, but now I'm 1 life down, all because of you. Just another reason why I should be taking yours right now. The time rings have that ability?
Seems
How
like
could
it.
a Saiyan discover such a thing that the Kais could not? Lucifer, could he too have? Oi! Stop daydreaming, Scooby. I didn't just tell you that for nothing. Now that I've been open with you and told you my truth, I expect the same in return. Let me just get an audience first.
Yeah.
Huh? As
I
Vegeta
think I
then looks
know where he's
towards the
going with that.
direction of 2 familiar figures
Knew
in the
it.
distance. And as we zoom in, with none other than God of Destruction GT Goku and GT Vegeta. Still unconscious on the ground after having just been defeated by Ultra Vegito. Alright boys, wakey wakey. Uncle Beerus has a story to tell. As instantly, Vegito then lifts his arm, and in the distance, both Vegeta and Goku raise in the air.
And
Wait! What are you doing? Leave those 2 alone. It's me who you want, is it not?
yeah.
But as we zoom in on
But
the
the
2
truth must
lifeless
be revealed,
bodies,
Beerus. The truth
Vegeta
must be
persists
revealed.
as each of them becomes coated in a strange purple aura reminiscent of Vegito. Slowly but surely, coming closer and closer to Beerus. Huh? What? You 2? Until eventually they reach just where the duo are, and the energy coating them disappears. Finally, we're all back together. We're like a big old happy family. In fact, now you can watch as I give these 2 weaklings a little present. What? No! You wouldn't! Don't!
Don't worry, he won't erase them or
But
anything like
regardless,
that.
without a hint of hesitation, Vegito fires off callously a ball of powerful energy. And as it strikes on the 2 helpless and unconscious Saiyans, neither Goku nor Vegeta utter a word, as they become enveloped in a light and appear by all accounts to now be in the process of being erased completely forever.
Now,
But inexplicably, mid-attack,
Knew it.
both Goku and Vegeta
He gave them
suddenly
something to jerk
opened their
over, of
eyes,
course.
perhaps subconsciously trying to survive, or could it be something else?
Oh, it is something else.
Kakarot, my energy, it's back! Yeah, you're right, Vegeta. What happened? But eventually,
Vegeta happened,
now
that's
standing, completely conscious and feeling rejuvenated, it is instead revealed that Vegito in classic DB style had given the two some of his power to revive them. Vegito! But eventually, as the two look up to see Ultra Vegito still standing there, and with Beerus in his grip no less, the two are quick to get back into fighting stances, not knowing it was him who even brought them back.
Bruh.
Vegeta, he's still here! And look, he's got Beerus already! We need to do something!
What can you
To
do?
which Vegito quips back, don't have to tell me something that obvious, Kakarot! I'm ready! I gave you guys just enough energy to barely talk. And you really think you're going to stop me? Get real!
Yeah.
Before suddenly, Vegito closes his fist unceremoniously, leading to Goku and Vegeta instantly then slamming their arms down to their side, fixed in place like statues as if under the complete control of Vegito. As Goku mutters out, "What is this? I can't move my body! That guy! I think his energy is causing this. Damn it! Only bright side is, at least, I'm not fused with you again." Ultra Vegito, meanwhile, though, watches on at how helpless the two are, smirking, before saying, Now, boys, no need to fidget. You won't have to be here too long. Beerus will be short and sweet with his story. The story of Planet Vegeta's destruction. Planet Vegeta? What are you talking about? Leaving Vegeta, of course, now more intrigued than ever.
Fine and listening, eh?
As Beerus, who now seemingly accepts the dire situation, and relieved at least that Goku and Vegeta were not erased, then lets out, "Fine. I'm done with all of this. I will tell you the truth."
Finally.
And just like that, with no other choice, Beerus then began explaining the true story of his involvement with Vegeta and the Saiyans from the beginning. Yes, it is true. It was I who ordered Frieza to destroy Planet Vegeta. It was I who ordered the death of all 5 million men, women, and children who occupied it. And I did it for my own gain. A destroyer's final goal is to seek out and create the next god that will rule. And you, Vegeta, were that candidate. You were always meant to be this universe's next god. And if destroying your entire species was the way to do it, then that is what I would do. And I would do it again. And yes, that means that you too, Goku, were never even supposed to exist. Almost immediately, the two Saiyans are then left shell-shocked by this information, with these two versions of Goku and Vegeta having never heard anything remotely close to this yet in their timeline. But Beerus, no way. Maybe Vegeta was right about you. You are a demon.
Yeah.
You lied to us, you damn cat. I trusted you. I introduced you to my family.
Damn.
And you were the one responsible for my family and mother's death.
Damn.
And simultaneously, in the heat of the moment, both Goku and Vegeta begin to feel rage build within them as they realize that maybe it wasn't Vegito who was their enemy after all.
Yeah.
And that this god Vegito had come to warn them about was just as dangerous as he had said. With a burst of energy,
Damn.
unable to control themselves anymore, the two break free from whatever was trapping them and begin to surround themselves in lightning as their power levels spike and their destroyer garbs rip off, as if symbolically representing their resignation from being destroyers anymore. What's this? But Vegeta, noticing this, can't help but think, they should barely be able to move, yet they broke through my energy. I guess you can really never underestimate a Saiyan's range,
Indeed.
can you? But regardless, now knowing that Vegito and Goku were now rightfully back on his side, Vegito turns to Beerus and says, "Well, looks like you don't have many fans anymore, Beerus.
Yeah.
Welcome to the club." But if no one has any more complaints, I guess it's time I added a new god to my victim list. For your crimes, for being complicit in erasing my home planet like it meant nothing, you will pay, Beerus.
Yeah, he will.
This time,
Definitely.
it will be no accident.
Yep.
To which Beerus, looking down with a face hued with fear, just gulps and remains silent, awaiting his fate. Before just like that, seemingly being a man of his word, Vegito begins forcefully absorbing the destruction energy straight out of Beerus, as his eyes close and his head sinks further and further down into unconsciousness and ultimately death. Until in an unexpected
he's still
twist,
alive.
Vegito just lets go with both his arms, as the now weakened Beerus, in a confused state, just falls slowly. Before landing on one knee, as if barely left with 1% of energy, muttering, What is the meaning of this? Why did you stop, God Killer? To which Vegito, who no longer even needs to look at the former destroyer, stares into the palm of his hand and cryptically lets out, "I've taken what I need. That's why, Beerus. You are no destroyer anymore.
Yeah.
Your Hakai energy is all mine, and I have no reason to kill you personally,
Yeah.
as I am not the one you wronged. The Beerus of my timeline is the one who wronged me, and he has already died by my hand. Your fate should now lie in the hands of those two."
Indeed.
And with that said, Vegito then proceeds to nonchalantly walk towards the still cautious Goku and Vegeta, leading to Vegeta calling out, "Kakarot, stay sharp, he's coming!" And not knowing what else to do, yet again, the two get back into fighting positions, as if that would do anything to Ultra Vegito. But meanwhile, the fused Saiyan, just as ominously as ever, lifts his hand up slowly and begins saying, "Still wary of me? I don't blame you. After all, I need your power too."
Yeah.
Before, with a more relaxed face, Vegeta reveals, "But not in the way I needed, Beerus. As Gogeta, you are a true rival to me.
Yeah.
And strength like yours is just what I will need when I eventually face the Grand Priest in Zeno. You know
Yeah,
my
you need a
story.
lot.
I don't need to repeat myself. And having just heard what even your beloved Beerus did, you know too that there is no more place for these gods to rule over us. Like insignificant beings that can be erased whenever they deem fit.
Yeah.
Join me. Give me your summoning button, and when the time comes, battle together with me like we first planned." Huh? Join you? After you nearly killed us?
Nearly.
Got to be
Remember?
kidding.
He didn't kill you.
Kakarot, don't listen to this
He just
clown.
knocked you out.
It could easily be another lie.
No, it's
But
not.
Goku, despite Vegeta's words, looks into Vegito's eyes and reacts entirely different, saying, "So, that's what you want. So you're going to one day fight this Grand Priest guy. You want our help? He must be pretty strong then. And if he's strong, then you can count me in." What? As Goku then reaches into his sash and takes out the summoning button that Vegito requested, the same one all destroyers are given. And so with the button in hand, GT Goku then stands with his arm outraised towards Vegito. Until finally, the two Saiyans shake hands, with Goku looking and saying, "The next time you see us, you can bet we'll be a whole lot stronger. So after we're done with that priest guy, get ready for a rematch." Which a smiling Vegito responds, "You got it, Kakarot." And so with a new ally gained and Beerus' power absorbed, Vegito opens up another time portal and waves his hand in the air saying finally, "See you both later. Try not to go too hard on the old kitty over there, will you?" Leaving Goku and Vegeta to say goodbye back, and Beerus to immediately look more worse for wear than ever before. However, the scene then changes to one from a few weeks in the past, looking over a strange new planet. But as we zoom in, three familiar
that
figures
planet's a
are
doll?
spotted.
Pretty
One
much six.
Saiyan, one God, and the other angel. It is then that we see in full Lord Champa, the brother of Beerus, with his hands on the back of his head as he complains, "Hey kid, just how slow do you plan on being? We've been walking for ages.
Bruh.
Call him out now before I do something I regret." To which the young Cabba nervously replies, I don't think he'd like that too much, Lord Champa, but I promise you, we're almost there." And Vados, watching the two interact, then adds, "Yes, my lord, try not to push our young friend here. After all, he is doing us a favor. We shall meet the king in due time. Besides, I think all this walking is good for your weight loss." Funny, Vados. Very funny. Leading to the angel breaking out in laughter as Champa immediately makes a bratty face back at her. It's not long after though that eventually the trio reach the
that
doors
is
of a large
big-ass door.
castle and
Way
open
big-ass
its
door.
huge and regal doors. And as Champa's face peers through, he comments, "Finally! Now where is my trump card?"
Your trump card?
And inside,
Damn.
looking remarkably unimpressed, is the King of Sadala, sitting with his head resting on his fist, and on top of a throne encrusted with what seems like skulls, perhaps
Damn, he was
from
tough.
his own victims. Champa, though, smiling, courteously then begins, "Well, if it isn't the famed King of Sadala. It's been a long time, but we meet again. And this time, I have something to ask of. Gods! There appears to be a fat stray cat in my throne room. Remove him at once before he pees everywhere." What? Leaving Champa completely gobsmacked as he hears the king's interruption, knowing if he's joking or not, while a red-faced and embarrassed Vados covers her mouth, trying her best to not burst out laughing.
Oh, he did it.
While Cabba, interestingly, looks just as embarrassed, but in a completely different way. Oh god, why must he be like this? He's got less manners than cauliflower.
Damn.
Listen, you! Enough of your silly jokes! I need your help! We have a god killer on the loose, and I want the strongest Saiyans alive to join me in battling them! But the king, who still remains completely uninviting, just responds back. A god killer? Do I look like one of your ridiculous gods? Why would I care at all for your problems? Get out of here! You're disturbing my silence, Garfield.
Bruh.
By hearing this, Champa seemingly finally loses his patience. Angered, and now powering up a ball of Hakai in his palm, he replies, Why you? Fine. If you want to be so useless to me, then I suppose you and this whole planet doesn't need to be here anymore. Prepare to be erased! What? No, Lord Champa, please, no! Leaving Kaba to expectedly react in horror, while the king just remained silent momentarily, thinking on what he should do now before letting out. Do it. Like I would give a
What?
damn.
He just said do
I
it.
spend all my days
No
in
balls.
this damn castle bored out of my mind, while my men go out saving weaklings across the universe.
Bruh, he didn't even...
You think I have anything to live for? Do me a
Damn.
favor and erase us quickly, Tubby. I can be barely bothered to breathe anymore.
Damn.
To which, of course, Champa is rightly just left speechless.
Yeah.
Stunned
Me
into
too.
silence, as even his Hakai ball immediately poofs into thin air.
Bruh.
See you later. Been nice knowing you. Continuing on his stance of complete indifference towards his whole planet disappearing. Until Champa, in an act of concession, just turns around and lets out. Fine, I'm done with this. Keep your planet and stay bored. I would have loved to have seen you face the God Killer. You may not be a god, but this battle would have been Saiyan versus Saiyan. In fact, King versus King. Wait! This last sentence, though, immediately
pique his
then
interest?
begins to pique the king's interest, as he
Knew it.
questions, Another Saiyan King? Leaving Champa to now smirk widely, as if his plan had come to perfect fruition. Until finally, standing up tall from his throne, for the first time in probably hours, King Sadala shouts, Tell me more, Destroyer! Bring me this Saiyan King you speak of. But that was it for today's video, guys, and if you made it this far, leave me a hashtag king in the comments down below.
Well, you heard Arch. Hashtag king in the comments down below. Also, comment down below, did you guys actually expect it for Joe to actually spare Beerus? Comment down below about your thoughts about this part of this video. Well, this is the end for this reaction video, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Sayonara.